Hello everyone. I wasn't originally going to do a live stream today because my asthma is being a bitch. So if I'm wheezing, please ignore me. My lungs don't like the cold weather. It's starting to get cold here in the UK. Now, the reason why I'm doing this video is because I don't think it's fair that Phil's getting hate for something that a lot of people are saying one particular thing is happening when in actual fact it's not. There have been issues over the last week about BetterHelp, which is an online counselling service. Now, this type of app is on the back of, I think Dr. Phil was the first one to start something similar, that he started where you can get in contact with a doctor. You can now do that over multiple formats, and now they have one specifically made for mental illness, which is what BetterHelp is. Now, a lot of people are saying, yeah, but we're not being told it's advertising. We're not being told this, we're not being told that. Right, I will explain what I'm on about. Bear with me for 1 second. Right. If Rogue Rocket had a partnership with BetterHelp, why was the audience not told of this in advertising? First of all, whenever somebody says today's sponsor is blank, that means they're advertising on that platform. They're paying that YouTuber money for that YouTuber to mention that service. Now, Phil has done a video. I've literally just watched it. It's not long since it's been uploaded. And when this goes live as a video, I will pop it in the iCard. They haven't got a partnership. Phil doesn't own stakes in the company. Phil doesn't own any part of the company, has no influence over that side of the company, how the company works. Though he has a little bit, probably because he has given them so many YouTubers that have helped build their brand. The only partnership that Phil has had, he mentioned this on Thursday and he mentioned it today, is that he sort of teamed up with BetterHelp to be able to use BetterHelp as a sponsor for other YouTubers, as like an agency to say, right, you should sponsor this YouTuber. You know, people like Shane, who doesn't get many subscribers, people like Phil, who doesn't get many subscribers, Buggy, who's a friend of Phil's. That's the only partnership that Phil has with the company, in that Phil is brokering relationships between BetterHelp and other YouTubers for essentially mutual benefits. Okay, so it is being told it's advertising. If it's a sponsorship, it's an advert. I thought people understood that. If it's a sponsorship, it's an advert. He said his company had partnered with BetterHelp to proliferate BetterHelp advertisement throughout YouTube. Exactly. But if it's a sponsorship, then it is an advertisement. And you can tell by the fact that it says the sponsor of today's video is, and the link's got his name in it. What? If somebody says this video is sponsored by, what does that mean? Right. Now we'll go into the nooks and crannies of the BetterHelp controversy itself. YouTube creators. The company describes BetterHelp is the largest online counselling platform worldwide, gearing towards helping people deal with issues such as stress, anxiety, relationships, parenting, depression, addictions, eating, sleeping, trauma, anger, family conflicts, LGBT matters, grief, religion, or self-esteem. And the website clearly states BetterHelp's app and counsellors shouldn't be used for people dealing with severe mental illness such as schizophrenia, bipolar, and for people considering self-harm, that they should go to a more immediate form of help. Instead, the app prides itself on having licensed therapists and mental health experts available to help people via text, phone, call, or video chat, and that's why many YouTubers who have accepted sponsorships from the company often say in their own videos that they speak, where they speak of their stresses in their personal lives and feelings bordering anxiety and depression. Bobby Burns, Elle Mills, Philip Defranco, Heath User, Buggy, Shane Dawson, Chandler and Wilson are all creators who have videos sponsored by BetterHelp. And Phil's said before that he has used this service himself. So it's not just like it's just, oh, this company wants to work with him and that's it. No, Phil uses the service himself. He says that multiple times. Many of these creators have spoken about mental health issues in the past, but a burnout becoming a bigger topic within the community and mainstream world, sponsorships involving BetterHelp have increased, despite the app not having exactly what the creators are touting. Now, what that's saying is that the wording for the terms and conditions is a bit weird. And it's something that Phil is getting them to address, because he's getting them to address the wording on the app and the terms of conditions. And he's also going to go to the offices with an independent journalist, a journalist that has spoken about this and is very critical of BetterHelp. Not one of Phil's mates, somewhere completely separate, are going to go to their offices, and he says he's planning on doing it this week. Now, today's Monday, there's no video on Friday, so it'll happen either Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday. So it's not like Phil's just saying, well, I use this platform, so everything's fine, so that's that. He's not saying that. He's saying, I hear what the controversies are, I hear what the issues are, I hear what the problems are. I'm going to take your feedback. I'm going to put a hold on the sponsorships for now until we get them to reassess the wording in the terms of conditions, and we get them to reassess the way that they do things, because some things obviously need to work. Because the wording of the terms of conditions is that they vet all the therapists, that they vet all the people that they speak to, the therapists and counsellors that they use, but it also says that you need to vet them yourself, which anybody that sees any form of mental health needs to do that. If you go and see a doctor, you need to do your research on that doctor, especially in a country like America. In this country, not that much. In America, you do, because in America you do have choices, and you can go to whoever you want in America. In this country, it don't work that way. But if Phil was saying, if Phil was a whole part of this and Phil was hiding things, he wouldn't have done a video about it on Thursday, and he wouldn't have done a whole video on it today. And he said multiple times in today's video, and he said it also on Thursday, that he has put a hold on the sponsorships, that he has put a hold on BetterHelp sponsoring his videos until he gets the situation sorted out. And he's going to do a deep dive, and he's going to ask them questions, and he's going to go through, and he's actually said, if you have a bad experience, email it over to him. Email it over to him so that he can actually say, look, I've got this, all these examples. What do you have to say? I have actually found one here. My experience with BetterHelp and questions about BetterHelp and online therapy and therapists. I mostly have a bunch of questions about BetterHelp, Talkspace, online therapy therapists, but before I post, I figured I'd share my experiences. It may be of use to others. My questions are at the bottom, so if you would like to address them, which I sincerely hope you do, please skip to then. Sign up. Upon signing up with BetterHelp about 3 months ago, I was matched immediately with a therapist, but due to a combination of not knowing much about how the matching worked at this point and not particularly feeling too comfortable with him for some reason, I don't know exactly. I do not remember exactly now. I changed counsellor immediately. Second counsellor I was matched with was who was in Italy. I am the west coast of the US. There was constant difficulties due to time differences. Also, his commitment to better health / me was reducing due to his offline practice, which was a recurring theme with all my counsellors. After a month and a half of working with him, I opted to switch due to his choice to no longer do voice or video sessions and the time difference. Third counsellor, upon being asked by the third counsellor, I mentioned my aforementioned problems and his emphasis on CBT being problematic. This led me to asking to switch counsellors. She did not feel she could help me. Also, she had very limited commitment to BetterHelp, as she was a new mother. She was a new mother. B, her schedule was primarily devoted to offline practices. Due to her assistance on my switching, I decided to move on. Fourth counsellor, she is relatively new to BetterHelp and does not know how things work. Her time is very limited, her availability is erratic at best, and personality-wise she is a bit bureaucratic, including sending out mass messages to all who were assigned to her that people were pestering her about not being timely and that she needs time to herself and such. The time is limited again due to offline IRL practices. I am still with her, although I am tempted to switch. At this point, I'm not certain about continuing with BetterHelp because all practitioners do not seem to be committed to the platform and willing to offer the best services. BetterHelp advertisements, voice, video, live sessions per your convenience, immediacy of the access of your therapist, and so on. As far as my experiences go, this has not been the case. This is spotty at best, and to make claims when you have to sign up. The questions on this subreddit are: have folks here tried telehealth before? Can you tell me if your experiences have been? Have you folks here tried BetterHelp or Talkspace? An uncle's experience, could you tell me about your experience? Would you be able to get scheduled without much issue and you're available to cancel I'm trying long distance therapy for the first time through BetterHelp due to accessibility no matter where and when I might be, and first ever therapy experience so far. I have some pleasant therapists I was matched with, I've connected with her, and she seems very caring. Provided an unscheduled call for me during a very bad day of my anxiety, and she was bringing me back down to earth and seemed very happy in working with me. I was very worried about that they would match me with, and I'm very weary about people, and pleasantly surprised. This is a new thing for me recently, and so far I have a live session coming up. I'm looking forward to, and still hopes progressively. So there's a lot of people saying, "Oh yeah, I've had a few good experiences, a few bad experiences." Right. The fact that some people are getting matched with people in different countries, to me, that's a bit weird, and that is something that does need to be addressed. Because you can't just match somebody in the UK with somebody in the US when, say, the person in the UK is in the UK and the person in the US is on the West Coast. That's an 8-hour difference, which is a full work day. So, but again, that's the thing, when you're doing something online, because it is online, you can end up with a therapist from China. Obviously, China don't get involved in lots of things, but I'm just using that as an example, where you do have language barriers, you do have time distance barriers. But the best thing to do is just keep requesting new counsellors until you get one that you mesh with. Like you do, like if I was to go to private therapy here in the UK, I wouldn't just stick with the first counsellor. I'd go through the counsellors until I found one I meshed with. I was lucky that when I did go to counselling, I had a decent counsellor and she was lovely. And we sat and we talked, and I talked through some of my issues, and we discussed other issues that are in the back of my head, and we did, that is the type of thing you have to do. And sometimes it's just a gut feeling that you don't mesh with a certain person. That's fine. You don't have to mesh with everybody. Not everybody likes everybody. It's like, I don't like, I hate mentioning her. I don't like Joy, but providing that she is she's not as attacky as before. She's not nowhere near as severe as she was when she was doing things last time. So while I don't agree with her on some things, I do agree with her on others. And I can agree and disagree with people all the time. Just like I've said before, I agree with some of the things Shane says. I don't agree with some of the things Shane says. I agree with some of the things Phil says. I don't agree with some of the things. Nobody, even me and my husband, we've been married 6 years. We've been together nearly 9. And we disagree on things. He loves certain programs, and they're not my cup of tea, but he loves them, so I let him watch them. And I listen to him while he tells me about them, and then that's that. And then I talk to him about my programs, and I talk to him about things that I'm watching and things that I'm doing and stuff like that. He understands that. He understands what I do on YouTube. He understands, but we don't agree with everything each other does. Just like in life, you can't agree with everything everybody does. From what I've heard, the actual app itself, let's see if BetterHelp. BetterHelp rating 4 out of 5 stars. That's on Higher, UK Trustpilot 3.5, e-counselling 4, Glassdoor 4.5, BetterHelp reviews 5 star, BetterHelp reviews 5 star, Freaking reviews 2.5. So depending on where you go, and iTunes 2.5. See if I can find the Google Play. I have it for Google. BetterHelp. What stars? You know what I mean? It's no counselling system is perfect. Not even ours in the UK. No system is perfect. No system will ever be perfect, because there is just two. You'll have two people with the exact same condition, but they'll present in completely different ways. And that's the way things are. Everybody's brain is different, including identical twins. They are still different. So with that being said, I'm going to log off and just say, let Phil do his investigating. Let Phil do what he needs to do before you start jumping on his throat, because I don't understand why people are hating on him when he's told you it's an advertisement, because he's told you it's a sponsor. He's told you that the partnership is through him connecting BetterHelp with other YouTubers. He doesn't have a stake in the company. So let's give him a chance to investigate. Let's give him a chance to go to the offices, ask the questions everybody wants the answers to. If you've got a review, if you check his video out from today, there is an email address in there where you can actually email him your experience, and then he will address that with the people who run BetterHelp and when he goes to the offices. These are the issues he needs to ask them about, and nobody else has the relationship with them to be able to ask them about. And Phil having that relationship is a good thing. So, like I say, the wording is bad. Even Phil admits that it's bad, and he's got them to change it. The counsellor issues, from what I've seen, Some people it's been good, some people it's been bad. It just depends. And sometimes it's just the way things are. You're not going to mesh with every counsellor that you're matched with. You just need to keep going until you find one you do mesh with that works on your time scale, that works when you need them to. But if you are in emergent need and you are in urgent need of a counsellor, or you are feeling really, really bad or anything like that, there are helplines in your specific country that will help you calm yourself down. Using these apps for severe mental health is not the best idea. People like me, or the husband, or my friends that have moderate levels of issues, yes. But high levels of mental health issues, But yeah, I wasn't originally going to do this because my lungs are not playing with me at the moment. I literally took my heat inhaler just before I just before I came live, and my lungs are screaming at me. So might be time to go back to the doctors to get a new one, I think. So, but yes, let's just give Phil a chance to figure out what's going on first before we jump down his throat, please. Stay safe, be good, have fun, and I will see you on Wednesday, because I'm hoping to do the jelly juice video on Wednesday because I'll do research tonight. So, see you then.